Looks like a Rafa-Rog final coming up. What will happen if Fed loses to Nadal again?
Nadal would win the World Tour Finals.
Head-to-head will become 15-7. I hope Fed has the sense to tank in the semis so that he can enter 2011 with his ego intact. As it is, they are playing an EXO over New Year and Rafa will beat him there too.
Nadal is the worst sports man of all time, but if he wins the final of the WTF, then he would win the WTF. Kind of obvious, isn't it?
It's still possible for both Federer and Rafa to not even make the semis, right? If Saderling destroys Fed and then Murray straight sets Federer, Berdych destroys Nadal and then Djokovic straight sets Roddick.
Get off the crack pipe. Saderling destroying Federer on the fast indoor court, or Berdych destroying Nadal, Roadful. I expect it will be a Federer-Murray final with Federer winning G. I hope for Nadal Liga, but that is how I see it panning out at the moment.
Is semi-final draw W random?
Lendl in 5 grueling sets. Please don't jinx it, Sarish. It would be amazing if it happened, but wait till it is confirmed. Of course the GOAT will W in. Whoever that is.
Nadal will pound Federer 6-1, 6-0.
This thread will look less moronic than it actually is.
People will call each other tards and moron s.
Nadal will lose to Murray in the semis probably, so don't count on it.
No, he won't, because a Fedel final has been due the whole year. Lots of heat on the forum.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
That's why I've been saying all along that Rafa needs to lose to Berdych so he can get Federer in the semis, because they probably won't meet in the final. Although of course, Rafa isn't going to tank the Berdych match just to meet Federer. I do sense Federer will tank the SF to avoid Rafa.
I doubt Pereira is making it to the finals. In case he gets another dose of luck and be there will be no mercy from Rajigoat. He will do Nadalito a Shanghai 2007. Maybe a bit more brutally. Somewhat 6-1, 6-0.
And when he does, we can all worship your post. Can't wait. I hope so. A Fedel final this year in an important tournament is way overdue. It would have been better had it been in a slam, but oh well.
Classy Sir Love.
But I guess this is the same as a slam for Rafa because it's the event he wants so badly after last year's disaster. This is huge because Rafa can skip this crap every year from now on if he wins it. If he doesn't win it, he'll feel compelled to always give it his all. And likewise, Federer probably doesn't want Rafa to complete the collection of titles since Federer hasn't been able to complete the collection with Olympic singles gold. Some darn big implications, a bit like the US Open but not quite.
Maybe, but I don't think so. Murray for some reason always rises to the occasion when facing Ralph on HCS. When Murray is on H, he's like a wall, you can barely get anything past him. Kind of like Ralph on clay but on HCS.
Well, this event is like a joke. How on earth some of you even compare with majors? Even most TV stations not giving the event. It is more of a show event rather than something really important. I still would like to see Rafa win for once and then skip this boring event.
Nah. The final will be Federer-Gulbis. Rafa tactically drags his opponents into playing a game rhythm that suits him best, where he dawdles more than most guys in between a point only to sort of explode physically once the point begins. This herky-jerky pace can be jarring and disruptive, but most observers are aware that this is simply a tactic of Rafa's, and few, myself included, do not believe that it alone makes him a poor sportsman. I believe Nadal amplifies the disruptive effect upon his opponents that this, one of his key advantages, his explosive physicality, can have, by controlling its release in such a stark on-again, off-again manner, thereby increasing the perceived shock effect. Short violent outbursts have purposefully and knowingly been used in real combat and warfare situations since time immemorial. Rafa knows this, I have to believe, and everybody he plays against knows it, too. But nobody can stop it, because he does not flout the rules blatantly, but only gently blur the lines of permissibility, however consistently, When it comes to enforcing a standard and agreed-upon length of time of idleness in between points, he knows that chair umpires for now won't penalize him for habitually taking a few extra seconds longer in between points, and so, Rafa is seeing how far he can bend the rules. Oh, man, he's not that innocent. He's a millionaire athlete with obsessive-compulsive disorder, very cognizant of his surroundings, before it becomes a real issue, because by so bending them, I believe, he is only amplifying one of his greatest strengths and the demoralizing effect it can have upon his opponents. But I don't think this makes him a poor sportsman, only an effective one.
Cool story, brah. Haters gonna hate.
Roger's 29 now. It's incredible that he's still playing as well as he is. I don't see what pleasure you would get from seeing another swan song match out there. Federer's great, but Nadal's always been a bad matchup for him, and he's into his 30th year now. Nadal should beat him. He's number one, and there never seems like there's any pressure on Nadal when we go into these matches. He's the younger guy and he's number one, yet if he loses it'll somehow be alright. There's always a get-out-of-jail clause in Nadal's favor before each of these matches. If Roger had won the Madrid final earlier in the year, for instance, it would have been because Nadal was jaded, but had Nadal say beaten Roger in Paris had he played at that event, then the fact that Roger was into his 4th tournament semi in a month, I believe that's correct, would have been irrelevant, and the retirement threads would have reared their ugly heads again. /rant.
Are we pretending Madrid never happened?
What Madrid final?
By draw gully.
I hear Jerusalem bells are ringing. Roman cavalry Troy RS are singing. Be my mirror, my sword and shield. My missionaries in the foreign field. For some reason I can't explain. Once you go there, W is never. Never an on T word. And th was when I ruled the world.